Watch us live stream at twitch.tv/Inez27. Live stream times are Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time. Follow us on Twitter at SeemsGoodMagic. And please support my eBay store by going to SeemsGoodMagic.com, clicking on the icon, and purchasing some playsets and singles. Thanks, and enjoy the video. Hey, it's Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com, here for another 8-4 Return to Ravnica block draft. Bringing up the whole card slot here, and okay, so second draft in a row I've opened Renounce the Guilds. It's not the first choice. My first choice is really, I think it's pretty much just the Blasted Genius. Thrashing Moss Dog is also quite good. Trostani Summoner is pretty good. Rubblebelt Maka is good. Arguable that you could say the Maka or the Moss Dog. I think Moss Dog over Maka, but picking the Moss Dog just because it's monocolor. But Blasted Genius is insane. I love this card. I don't care what anybody says. I love Blasted Genius. I think it's a very, very strong card. And I'm happy to first pick it. So we'll do that. Follow up pick. Alright. I like Beetleform Mage a lot. Give and Take is good. Pilfered Plans is good. I'm a huge Beetleform Mage fan. I could take this and maybe Splash for the Blast or something like that. This early, you just sort of want to pick up stuff that's very good and then sort of see what's open. That's sort of how I've been doing this format so far. So I'm a big Beetleform Mage fan. It's a very, very good card. And I think we're just going to second pick it. Give and Take is actually very good too. Just playing it as Give can be fine. But I think I like the Beetleform Mage more. It's a big threat. Good card. Well, we can take another one. Not opposed to that. It's also Pilfered Plans again. I think we're just taking another Mage. I do like Alive and Well quite a bit. If you've seen me play this card, I've talked it up quite a bit. I think it's a good card. I like what it delivers for 5 mana, or just giving you a token for your Selesnya deck is good too. But pretty happy to pluck up the Beetleform Mage here and continue down this path. Alright, this is kind of cool. I can actually take my Scab Clan Giant? No way. I can take it without people getting upset with me? I think I can. Yeah. What else we got in here, though? Maka would be fine. Maze Glider's pretty good. Guildgate seems unnecessary based on what we already have. Rot Farm Skeleton's good. Let's take an awesome Scab Clan Giant. Pretty happy I get that. Oh, wow. War Leader's Helix. So what is that? 5th pick War Leader's Helix. That's actually pretty shocking. I'm trying to think of the last time I've seen a 5th pick. I'm trying to think of the implications of a 5th pick War Leader's Helix. If someone is just dramatically trying to signal to me to move into Boros, I feel like it's a tad bit too late to kind of go down that path. It's not like it's too late. I'm just, based on the 4 awesome picks I already have, I'm not sure if I want to. If that makes sense. I could also take the Guildgate here, or just get a 3rd Beetleform Mage. I mean, this card is awesome. I don't really care if I have like infinite number of Beetleform Mages. They're basically little Sarah Angels, you know, that you turn them into, which is awesome. Surtod Druid is very good too. I'm going to take a 3rd Beetleform Mage. Might seem strange. I really like this card a lot. I think it's very aggressive and good. Here we can take the Simic Cluestone. We can also take the Runner's Bane. I think I like Runner's Bane. I do like Runner's Bane, as a matter of fact. I don't think. I know. Runner's Bane is been pretty good all around in this format. I like it quite a bit. I think I'm happy to pluck it up here over the Cluestone. I wouldn't mind getting the Cluestone, but I guess I'd prefer to either have a Keyrune or a Cluestone that includes red, since it looks like red's going to be the splash. Okay, Runner's Bane it is. Ooh, we can get a second one. We can take Moss Dog, I think. I think I'd prefer the Moss Dog. I like Moss Dog a lot, and that is a very, very late one, which is a good sign for our deck. So I'm going to take the Moss Dog over the Runner's Bane. A couple good black cards in here. Excellent Boros card as well. I'm a little bit confused as to what the other players are taking. Not 100%. Must be black, but two good black picks, so it must be white. Yeah, it must be white, but not Boros white. So I don't know. I'm just a little bit confused at the moment. Gonna take this Thrashing Moss Dog happily, though. Okay, we can take the Weapon Surge, which is fine on the splash. Can also just take the Maze Glider, which seems a little bit redundant with the Beetle Form mages, but still fine. We could also just take the Clue Stone. Even though it doesn't include red, it still helps. It makes the mana base a little bit easier, as we do look a tad bit color intensive at the moment. Let's just take a Clue Stone. Alright. Is it Guildgate? Pretty happy to pluck up here, as it fixes for both the Blast and Scab Clan Giant. So, yes. Okay, and now we have Gruul Cluestone. Yep, that also fixes, so get to pick up another piece of fixing here. Mutant's Prey is playable when you're in Simic, but we currently have 0 evolved creatures, so I think the Gruul Cluestone makes a tad bit more sense. Alright, we'll try the Mutant's Prey now. If I just go crazy in Pack 2 and pick up just a million evolved creatures, I'm willing to try out Mutant's Prey. But I have yet to find an opportunity to play this card. And now we table the Maze Glider. I mean, I could take the Mending Touch, but Maze Glider's fine. We already have a couple of rocks, so 6 mana seems like it's realistic. And actually, some of the evolved creatures are just insane out of Pack 2. With the Maze Glider, so we'll do it. Alright, Bread for the Hunt. There's a chance we make it work. I don't think we need the Maze Rusher, so most likely we're not playing either of these cards, but they're so interesting that I kind of want to. I guess we could play that, just cutting it for color purposes. Getting a last pick Mind Static is a good sign for blue. Currently I like the way the deck looks. Got a couple sort of weirdo picks, but we'll make this work. Okay, this looks like not the best opener for us, but that is okay. Could just take the Zertos Swine. He's worthy of a splash. Mugging is probably worthy of a splash, but a tad bit underwhelming. True Fire is one of the best, probably the best uncommon from Gatecrash. Crypt Gas is an awesome card when you're on color with it. Keymaster Rogue's fine. Zertos Swine is quite good. So first pick that, no problems there. Wow. Consuming Aberration, you say? Well, I do love Consuming Aberration. However, there's also Frilled Oculus and Drakewing Krasis in this pack, both of which are insane. Frilled Oculus probably works better with the Beetle Form Mage, but Drakewing is just so good. You're more likely to table a Frilled Oculus, probably. I mean, Drakewing's stronger than Frilled Oculus overall. Frilled Oculus just looks a tad bit better in this deck. But Drakewing with a Zertos Swine Blood Rush or anything like that is just crazy. God, I would like to take the Consuming. I think it's just not quite the path I'm doing with this deck. I mean, I could force it. I'm not sure I'm interested to, just because the red picks that I have already, I'm happy to play. It's a dilemma. Consuming Aberration is a tremendously strong card. Very fun win con. I'm not going to want to go up against it. I don't think I'm going to pick it over a Drakewing, though. I think the Drakewing is just a tad bit too important for what we're trying to do. All right, Ground Assault is absolutely a splashable card. It's also Simic Flux Mage, which does have Evolve. It's also another 3-drop, however. Miming Slime is fine alongside Beetle Form Mage, fine along some of our fatties. I could see that. I think we're just taking the Ground Assault. I could use some more removal, and Ground Assault is a very good one. And like I said, good on the splash. Better than Hands of Binding, in my opinion, even though we have a very solid amount of evasion currently. I think I'd just rather have the Ground Assault. It's a good card. All right, Mind Eye Drake looks like it's fine. Verdant Haven, more fixing. Madcap Skills, Ruination Worm. It looks like we're actually kind of good on the 6 drops. Maybe let's just try and focus on filling up with some more quality creatures. Mind Eye Drake's an awesome blocker, awesome attacker. Madcap Skills I could see being very awesome on any of our 3 drops. think I'm a little more interested in the Mind-Eye Drake. It's another evasive creature. It's very good. Alright, get a Shamble Shark. It's a nice little gift. It's also Simic Keyrune, which is fine, but we're in unexpected results, which is interesting, but probably not that playable. So let's take the Shamble Shark. And now I can take the Guildgate. I'm pretty happy to do that. There's also Burst of Strength, which is a very good trick. And that's about it. So let's take the Gate. Let's make our mana base a little bit better here. Okay, so now we can take the Burst of Strength and Sky Knight Legionnaire passing, which bodes well for the Boros player. But Burst of Strength is an excellent trick. Pretty happily take that. Okay, here I think we can just take the Death Cult Rogue. It is another 3-drop and it's double blue, but he's good enough. I like him quite a bit. He's very evasive. Much better than Merfolk of the Depths. Alright, I guess we can possibly play Way of the Thief. It's not very likely, but I'll leave it open. Alright, I think we're just gonna dump the Mutant's Prey. I mean, we do have a couple means to get tokens on creatures, but not interested in that strategy. Okay, take another burst. Yet another means to get +1/+1 counters on our creatures, but still am not convinced that I want to play Mutant's Prey. So how are we looking thus far? We're looking pretty good. 21 playables. I'm happy with all of these cards currently. Mind Static could probably be upgraded. Tabling Hands of Binding is pretty amazing. Pretty happy about that. So actually have a good amount of removal now. I possibly play the Spire Tracer. Not super likely, but I'll leave the option there. We'll let the player have the Horror of the Dim. That's okay. Okay, so moving into the last pack here, and we're going to be trying to clean up on some good Izzet cards and some good Selesnya. Wow, Martial Law, huh? Staticaster's good. I think we want the Brush Strider since it evolves the Shamble Shark. It's a good beater on its own. We look like we're fairly aggressive. Towering Indrik's also fine. I like the 2-drop a little bit more because we look like, I feel like we can actually be pretty aggressive here. We really look like we can be pushing damage in and doing some tricky stuff. Stab Wound's also quite good. So Indrik, Staticaster, Brush Strider, all of those are fine. I have tabled a Brush Strider before. I just am not convinced I want to go for that. I think we really do look like we're a pretty aggressive deck, so I think I want the Brush Strider. Hopefully table, I don't know, maybe the Staticaster if no one's in Izzet. It is possible. Electrickery we're almost assured to be tabling, and that card's actually an okay sideboard option. Let's take the Brush Strider. I like 2-drops. Okay, so we can take another trick here. We can take the Gorehouse Chainwalker, but looks like that might be a little more difficult to get online on turn 2, but perhaps not. I guess we are a little bit light in red. Probably not even playing the Maze Rusher, most likely. Might just want to take the Savage Surge. It is a very good trick. We do have a ton of multicolor. So Lobber Crew is interesting. I just don't know how I feel about it on the splash. I would like to take the Chainwalker. How realistic is it that I'm making it work? I guess it's not super realistic. My fixing is 1 gate and 1 Cluestone for red. I don't think I need to dip that much more in red. Prefer to stay out of it if I can. At the same time, I do really want this Chainwalker if I could make it work, you know? It also works with Mutant's Prey a little bit. Not amazingly well, since even Unleashed it only has 2 toughness. So I guess that's not the best argument for it. I do want this Chainwalker. You know what? I'm going to take the Chainwalker and hope that I get more fixing. And just really maybe try and see if I can get fixing. Wow, Trastani, huh? Crazy. What else we got? We have Explosive Impact, which is worthy of a splash. So I guess we're going to do that. Another 6-drop. Another Chainwalker. There's also Civic Saber, which is insane with all of our 3-drops. And Shamble Shark, and Zertoswine, and wow. You know, Civic Saber looks pretty good here. Call the Conclave looks really good too. Let me think about this Chainwalker, how realistic that plan is. I'm not convinced yet that it's a great plan. Unless if I see one more piece of red fixing, like one more, is it Guildgate? Is it Key Rune? Be happy to pick those up, but that's tough. I think I'm going to take the Saber. All of our 3-drops, like I said, just really get tremendously pumped from that. Rune Wing's fine. Gutter Snipe. What do we got for Gutter Snipe? 2 bursts. Ground Assault. Hands of Binding is insane with Gutter Snipe. Mind Static, which we're probably not playing. Blast. Explosive. Both of the... I mean, all of those are good with the Gutter Snipe. What else am I really taking? Just a Rune Wing, which is evasive and fine. And it's more on color than the Gutter Snipe. Do I want to splash for Gutter Snipe in this deck? I mean, it's insane when you have a Hands of Binding online. We do have a decent amount of tricks. I don't think it's... Let's take the Rune Wing. I'm not convinced yet we're going to pick up that fixing we need for that Chainwalker. Oh, but we did. Okay. Wow, Skymark Rock in here too. Just really... Aerial Predation. Really, really good cards. We're going to take the Guildgate. Syncopate is a very good counterspell. One I like quite a bit. Could just take the Courier, get another 2-drop. I think that's fine. It doesn't evolve the Shamble Shark, but we probably don't want the Spire Tracer. Probably don't need the Mind Static. Probably don't need the Maze Rusher, but he's fine. I mean, the Maze Rusher's fine. I just don't know if we need that many 6-drops. So this is 25. I mean, I already have to make cuts from here, like Way of the Thief. Everything else looks pretty good. Yeah, maybe we're going to restrict our red splash. Oops, waited too long. All right, so I think we're probably cutting the Chainwalker. I mean, we did get the second red splash for it, but we can actually just play these Guildgates and the Cruel Stone, or the Gruul Cluestone, and probably not even play a Mountain, or maybe one. Judge's Familiar looks fine here, but Giant Growth looks very good too. Judge's Familiar is pretty good. We're trying to be aggressive. Actually, it's insane with the Civic Saber too. I guess that's a good argument for it. All right, we did, in fact, table the Staticaster. I'm pretty happy about that. I'd like it more than the Trickery. I could see Staticaster being insane against some decks. Let's take the Sundering Growth for sideboard. Follow the Gavel's actually pretty annoying. Downsize, I guess we could sideboard into it. It's a trick. Let's take the Fall just to hate it. It can be really annoying. Alright, you know what's cool about Pithing Needle? I'll tell you. It's awesome sideboard against Pack Rat. So, and randomly some other weird stuff. So Pithing Needle is actually a cool limited card for sideboard. You can do some interesting stuff with it. Alright, so we're at 26 without the Guildgates. So we do have to make some cuts. Currently have 16 creatures. I don't think we're doing the Chainwalker, so I prefer to not cut any more creatures. Perhaps we don't need the Maze Glide. Wow, Table the Gutter Snipe. It's kind of funny. I don't think we're going to be playing it. We do have some cool interactions with Gutter Snipe. I just don't think that's quite what this deck needs. Maybe we cut one of the Cluestones, like the Simic one. Feels a little bit unnecessary. We do have some 6-drops, but we may not even be playing the Maze Glider. Could just lower the curve of this deck a little bit. So far, I'm pretty happy with the way that it looks. We pretty much ended up straight Simic. Our main win cons are these sweet Beetle Form mages, and as well as a bunch of evasive stuff. So I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. Let's just bring in our red splash, get this thing in there, that guy. Don't need the Spire Tracer really. It's fine and all, but probably not necessary. This is 20. We want this. We want the Cluestone. That's 22, so I have space for one more. I feel like I'm missing something. Here we go. Impact. This is only 14 creatures. It's a little bit creature light. which is a concern. So let me see if I want to swap out maybe a trick for a creature. I'm not opposed to that. See, the problem is if you swap in a gutter snipe, then it doesn't really make sense to side out a instant or sorcery because you want as many as you can get. So currently, if I were to play gutter snipe, I would have 2 bursts, ground assault, hands of binding, blast, and explosive impact. 6 spells. This one has residual use with not residual, but you get uses of it later with the Cipher ability with the gutter snipe. So each time you cast it, you get another little shock, which is insane. No doubt, it is insane. Is 6 spells enough to want to play gutter snipe? You know, that's a legitimate question. I'm not sure. I'm confident with the answer to that question. I would very much like to play another creature. So do I want another 6-drop? It's a reasonable question. We currently only have 1 ramp spell, so that does not seem like yes is the answer to that one. Do I want another red creature? Also a good question. Not very likely. I really do feel like Staticaster is worthy of mentioning here. Perhaps we just try and make the Chainwalker work, but if I'm going to make Chainwalker work, I might as well just splash for Gutter Snipe. Huh. And if I were to play the Gutter Snipe, what am I dropping? And that's probably a Runner's Bane. Probably a Runner's Bane, but Runner's Bane actually does look good in this deck. That's kind of another issue. And if I cut a burst, then I don't want to add the Gutter Snipe. So I could cut a burst and add a Gorehouse Chainwalker, but then I'm splashing for a Chainwalker, which seems a little bit awkward. I mean, I do currently have 3 red sources already with the Clue Stone, so it's possible. It's just not very likely I'm going to be able to play it as early as I want. Maze Glider currently gives Zertos Wine and Scab Clan Giant, Shamble Shark, Death Cult Rogue flying. And those are really the only creatures that are multicolor that don't already have access to it. So I'm not sure the Maze Glider looks that great in this list. Is this a 16-land deck? No, I don't think so. Unfortunately, even though, I mean, we've got triple mana sink, so I really don't think it's realistic to go 16 lands. So what's it going to be? I don't know why this is so difficult. Maybe we don't need the double burst. But once again, if I'm cutting burst, I don't feel like adding Gutter Snipe. Does that make sense? I guess we cut Runner's Bane and we add the Gutter Snipe. I guess I'm going to go for that plan. Might seem strange, but if we're playing Gutter Snipe, I want more than 6 spells, really, if I'm playing Gutter Snipe. 6 instants and sorceries, I mean. But I'm fine with that. I think this is appropriate. We have the bare minimum amount of creatures that I like to play in a deck if I'm trying to be aggressive, but the creatures we do have are very, very threatening, I will say that. And Gutter Snipe can randomly just clean up a game if you draw into your impact or your blast. So, yep, I think we're going to do this. Currently have how many spells that require red? A little bit more than I thought, to tell you the truth. But thankfully, none of them you really have to play super early, Gutter Snipe being the clear exception to that rule. But as for the rest, we're pretty even split, I'm guessing, of green and blue. Yeah, alright, so let's bring these in. These are currently have 3 blue sources already. So let's see what their suggestion is going to be way off. Don't need these. Probably don't need 3 red sources. We have 2. We have 3 with the Clue Stone already. So 3 with the Clue Stone already. I think probably 5 is appropriate. So we need more green. This way we have 8 green, 8 blue, 5 red. That's probably just fine. I think that's a fairly good mana base. What what can I say about this deck? I like the way it looks. Looks good. Got some powerful effects. Pretty happy, pretty satisfied with all the spells we ended up playing. We didn't really play anything subpar. Judge's Familiar randomly does some cool stuff. Even like Rune Wing, which generally is considered to be, fairly weak. I like that it's evasive, draws you a card when it dies. Have pretty good early attackers. Yeah, I think this deck looks pretty good. So this is how I'm going to run it. Got some decent sideboard options with the Is It Staticaster and the Runner's Bane and the Pithing Needle. So, going to try it like this. See you round 1.